I was talking about crypto regulation and how crypto will be regulated soon. And this person says, Tuwong363 says, TF you talking about? Crypto has been regulated. They talking away paper because they already clipped coins. It's going digital in total control. I don't know what the fuck this person is talking about or what they were trying to say. However, I am going to prove what I was talking about. The first video that I want to show you is Coinbase CEO talking exactly about the exact same thing that I was referring to. And then we're gonna actually view the video that I was.
Some of the bank CEOs I've spoken with have kind of said, hey, we have this really high regulatory burden with being a bank, and what you're doing kind of looks like a bank, and so we think it's super unfair. You should have to have a bank license too. And what I tell them is, well, we're not doing something very important that you do. We do not do fractional reserve lending, which means, for those who don't know, at a bank you deposit your funds. They're not keeping your money there. They're actually lending it out.
And that's exactly what I was referring to. The banks are having issues with the fact that cryptocurrency is being regulated, or cryptocurrency is not being regulated in the same fashion that banks are, and also that they are providing financial services. Like the banks are having to compete with something that looks like, a banking system where you can send money, transact on the the blockchain, and the banks are not happy about that because of course they would want fair competition, but nothing is fair about the banking and what they want. It just appears to be so. But this person didn't understand what I was talking about. Well, let's continue watching
out and earning interest on that, and then they pay you a very small percentage of that. Like the average savings account makes like 14 basis points or something. And that's called net interest margin, and that's the whole bank business model. And so that's why they have such high regulatory burden, because there can be a run on the bank. Like your money is not all there. In a crypto world, there's a 100% reserve. So all your money is there. It eliminates this entire category of risk around a bank run. No such thing is possible if there's 100% of the money there. And so we don't need a bank license. We're regulated.
I mean, yes, that's the other thing too that I mentioned is the fact that the crypto doesn't do with fractional reserves like the bank do. Like meaning that they don't have, when you deposit $1 at the bank doesn't have to keep that dollar stored in the bank. They keep a fraction of it because they loan it out to other people and they earn interest on that dollar that you actually deposited at the bank. And cryptocurrency doesn't do that. They keep your whole dollar. But, crypto is prone to getting attacked and people are losing millions of dollars from cyber attack. The question is, who's responsible for that?
By the SEC, the CFTC, we have a national trust charter. Like there's different entities, and stablecoin issuers can operate under these models as well. And so we've kind of said, we don't need a bank license. That's what currently already exists in the law. The Genius Act even enshrined that further. And so there has to be some other solution here. How do we flip the banks from thinking of this as a threat to an opportunity where we can all go win? Well, there's always short-term fluctuations in crypto, but I think, if you look over the last 2 years, Bitcoin's up like 100%. Pretty great outcome for anybody who invested. I've said publicly I think that Bitcoin could hit $1 million by 2030. I still think that's true. So whatever happens in any given week or month,
also take into account that this guy is pretty bullish. If Bitcoin hit the target price of $1 million by 2030, like he is saying, good for him. You know what I mean? Like he's tend to be very, very, very super mega wealthy from it, which my stance currently is be invested. This is also not financial advice, but me personally, I am invested. I will invest more, especially in platforms like Robinhood. If you're talking about stocks, Robinhood and the stocks of Coinbase, they tend to benefit a lot from the rise of cryptocurrencies. It doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin or if it's, whatever coin it is. As long as it is traded on their platform or as long as it is a cryptocurrency, they tend to gain a lot from it. I'm going to show you the meeting that I was referring to that I was a part of and participated into and where I got that information from. And this, in case you didn't know, this is Neil Kashkari, and he is the president of the Federal Reserve of Minneapolis. And in this video, he's talking in the first half, he's talking about AI is 30 seconds.
Bubble, could valuations be in excess of fundamentals? Certainly it's possible. I don't have a view on that. But is it, I always love to compare AI to crypto. AI's been around for a few years, and everyday businesses and consumers are finding uses for it that give them capabilities they otherwise didn't have. Crypto's been around for more than a decade, and it's still basically useless for consumers. I mean, there's nothing you can do with Bitcoin or a stablecoin that you can't already do with Venmo or with your traditional banking products, other than circumventing banking regulation. And so, if I contrast those two things, AI is not a bubble, and crypto is just a tool of speculation. Bubble.
Did you hear that?
Good valuations.
Did you hear that? That's the first part. That's the first part. Also, good luck finding this video anywhere else. Okay, this was a private meeting, and this is the second portion of specifically to what I was referring about.
Tech companies are offering products that look a lot like banking products to me, and so if it's a banking product, it should be regulated like a banking product. And if we don't need the regulations, then we don't need the regulations for the banks that are offering those products too. So to me, I think from a financial stability perspective, it's important to watch these and make sure that like products are facing like regulation, and it's not simply somebody arbitraging the regulatory environment. So, I mean, I take the point that's being raised, and I think it's absolutely worth watching, both from a consumer protection angle, but also from a banking and financial stability angle.
And that's it. I don't even have to say anything else. If you want to know what my original point was, or the original thing that I said, I'll play a little bit of my original video just to wrap it all up in a nice bow. Or you can say, just to put sugar on top of shit. And then here's the original video that I made. It was 4 days ago, which I couldn't have seen before this was posted 11 hours ago. Of the Federal Reserve of Minneapolis, Neil Kashkari gave a 30 minutes presentation where he answered Q&As, and I was fortunate enough to be a fly on the wall. I didn't get in this meeting because I was supposed to be part of it.
Okay, get to
I
it,
got into
bro.
it because I just got lucky and I sat through the meeting. It was very interesting as far as like DC representation of the Federal Reserve. And they each have their own peninsula of the place. But I was fortunate enough to sit in. The Federal Reserve is very focused. This year, their goal is to bring inflation down. Kashkari, his personal goal for his market, the Minneapolis Federal Reserve. That's one of their goals. That's one of the things that they were speaking about that they're trying to do, like ASAP Rocky, like this year. Also, another thing that came up is about cryptocurrency. People were asking him about crypto. What's his view on crypto? How is the market going to be managed? Do they have any plans for cryptocurrency? Of course, he's not a lawmaker. That's not his job. He's there to make monetary policies. I will say this much. I think cryptocurrency is going to get regulated because a lot of the bankers, bankers make the world go around pretty much. A lot of the bankers are complaining that these financial instruments are being used in the same sense that banks' products are being used. However, they're not facing the same regulatory scrutiny that banks face. Which okay, bro, that's it. Like that's it. That's exactly the same thing as the CEO of Coinbase just said. Where do you think I got this information from? You think I just came up with it? No, I got it from somewhere, and I told you the source where I got it from. And this buffoon, it's still commented garbage. I mean, I get it. Like every time you say something against crypto or something that doesn't align with the people who strongly believe in crypto, it's like for everything else. Like people who. You can do the same thing in politics. Like as soon as you say something that goes against what they believe, it's like an attack on their religion.